Hey everybody, just coming to you with a end of the year 2024 video. We made it. We made it. Tomorrow's 2025, so I guess we start all over. But I just want to, at the start of the video, just tell everybody how much our family, how much I appreciate all of y'all sticking by us this year. It was a incredibly difficult year for my family. It was for me. Um, it's everybody knows what's been going on, and I just want to tell everybody we appreciate each and every one of y'all for sticking beside us. Y'all helped us get across the finish line to finish out this year, and I just want to say I appreciate everyone that follows us all around the world. Y'all mean a lot to us. I mean, even though that we're not in the same household in the same town, um, you know, we consider every one of y'all family, and we appreciate every one of y'all. But this has been a difficult year. It's a year that of reflection that I'll always remember. This is a year that I'll always remember where I was at certain times, how I felt at certain times more than any other year that I seem to just gloss over, forget. As most of y'all know, my son, he's a baseball player. He's 11 years old, and it was the end of the year last year. He broke his leg, or it was in September of 2023. He broke his leg, and going to first base. I guess he's got those little spaghetti legs like Pop. He hit first base, broke his leg, and he was in a leg cast for 4 or 5 months. Then once that came off in January, he went to the leg brace. And as soon as we got that leg brace on, within that week or so, my house flooded. And we were in a hotel for about 7 months. The entire bottom floor of my house flooded. Furniture, walls, floors, appliances, everything was destroyed. So we packed up our lives, put it in storage, and moved to a hotel for, 7 months-ish. And it was hard. It was something I've never experienced before in my life. We were in a total rebuild at the time, our lives and our daily schedules and what we were going to do. One thing I learned that staying in those hotels, there's a lot of people that stay in those hotels that are in kind of similar situations that you are, and some of them have it a lot worse. So the whole hotel experience for 7 months was a big eye-opening experience for me. I talked to hundreds of people who came through there who were in fortunate situations like we were, and some people that lost their entire house due to fires or floods or just natural disaster types, and they relocated to East Texas, and they were staying in a hotel till they could find a house to buy or apartment to rent. So it was an eye-opening experience, and I appreciate every day that I was in that hotel. I learned so many different things. I even brushed up on my Spanish. A lot of the housekeeping there. Who wants to call me from Florida? No. A lot of the housekeeping there, I would sit there and I would talk to them in Spanish, and then once they found out that I could speak a little Spanish, they would talk to me in Spanish. So I learned a lot of Spanish while I was there. So then I was able to come and impress Nan with what I've learned and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, I didn't take any day for granted. It was a learning experience, and I don't appreciate that I necessarily went through that, but I have a whole different understanding on self-sacrifice and what other people got to go through. So I never want to go through it again, but it was something that was a learning experience, and my son and I definitely learned from it. And for all the people that are displaced, with the recent natural disasters, it's my heart goes out to you. It's tough. Obviously your situation was like 100 times worse than ours, but we got a little piece of what, appreciating your life means to you. And when that's taken away from you, it's a hard thing to deal with, especially when it's unexpected. So my heart goes out, and my thoughts and prayers go out to all the people that are still suffering from those natural disasters, and hopefully y'all will be back up on y'all's feet, and y'all's families will be connected soon. But most people know, right when we got out of that hotel, it was August. Pop fell ill, and then he went to the hospital. And the whole time I was thinking to myself, I was like, Connor breaking his leg. We made it through that. House floods. We made it through that. Then Pop ends up going to the hospital, and all I could think was, it can't get any worse. There's no way, because as someone who's been by his side, my entire life, I've always thought that, there was a way that I could figure out, how to make him better, how to make his living conditions better, how to put him in a better situation to where he can enjoy life. That's kind of always been the way I've felt with Pop, just like I do with my son. How can I put him in a position to excel, succeed, and to make his overall life better? And with Pop, it just didn't work out that way. And for the first time in my life, it was tough. You feel like a failure. You feel like an utter failure. And the stages of grief that you got to go through is just overwhelming. I'm not a big dweller on events like that. I don't like to cry. I don't like to shed tears. I don't really like to show my emotion much. I've always kept it close to me, and it's been difficult dealing with Pop's passing. Of course, now we're however many months passed, and now we're about to start a new year, and I've just woken up every day realizing it's a new day. It's a new day. Every day is going to be different from here on out, from the rest of my life. When you don't have someone in it that's always been in your life, and I'm 40 years old, so it's taken me up till I'm 40 years old to just realize this, and some people experience it a lot earlier in life, and I guess they form some kind of more of a mental toughness than I did. But it's been tough. I haven't shed a tear since his burial. I really haven't thought about it much. I'm totally okay. It's something that you've got to realize, and I've realized at the age of 40 that I'm going through something that everybody goes through. It's just that when you really haven't gone through with it with someone that was close to you that you love, it's just difficult to see how anyone else has dealt with this before. But everybody, I'm no different than any of y'all out there. I'm no different than any family member that I have that has lost a loved one. Everyone that I'm speaking to out there has lost a loved one somewhere, and if you haven't, you will. It's just part of life. And you just got to find a way to just get through it. It's tough as shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's the hardest thing that I've had to deal with in my life, to try to keep it all in, because I just don't like showing emotion that much. I guess a little bit of Pop did rub off on me, but there's certain things that I keep every day that remind me of him. I try to not necessarily block out anything, but I always set myself up for daily reminders. Every day when I would go, check on Pop, whether he was healthy or whether he was sick, I would always say, hey, you got to get your keys. When I would wake him up, you got to get your keys, you got to get your glasses, you got to get your pocket knife, you got to get your watch. Then we got to get you up, got to get you to the bathroom. He had this whole daily routine that we would do. So every day I walk into my closet, and just a daily reminder, I have his glasses. I have his watch. And I also have his pocket knife. I always make it a point every day to locate those three items. I had his house keys, but I think Nan still uses the house keys. But I'll see if I can get his house keys and give her some duplicates. But I always make it a thing to every morning when I wake up. I always go check where his glasses, his watch, and his pocket knife are, because that was the daily routine that I had with him, and that's one thing that I always wanted to cherish every day. I think that routine with people that you love, I think that we all have our weirdnesses about us, about how we carry grief, how we do certain things. And mine is, I don't think about him as much, or I It's not that I don't, because, you're reminded about him every day, but the things that are easier for me to do is locate those three things. I walk in there and I go, glasses, watch, pocket knife. And it's just one of those things that I'll just, always cherish and carry with me, because those were the three things that were important to Pop every day. So those are the three things that I'm kind of like gatekeeping. I'm just holding those close to heart. But everything other than that, everything's been going pretty smooth sailing. You run into so many people who still don't even know that Pop had passed on, and I'll see them out in grocery stores or in the mall or at the gas station or wherever I'm at, and they're like, "Hey, tell Pop hi." And that's no faults of their own. They don't keep up with the page like a lot of people do, and that's totally fine. So I always feel weird, because I never say that, well, he passed. It's just something that I never say. People will always say, hey, say hi to Nan, say hi to Pop, make sure he gets his Dr. Peppers. And I say, oh, I will. It's just, and I don't bat an eye to it. I hear it and I go down the road, because, a part of me still says Pop is, he's with us all the time. So, and a lot of people come by and express their condolences and all that kind of stuff, who keep up with the page and who keep up with their family. But, I've handled Pop's death a lot better than what I've thought. At some points in time, it's difficult throughout the day, but I navigate right through it, because, I got a kid to raise, and you find yourself reflecting a couple of times a day. You see something, you think about it, and you move on. And like I said, it's you can't watch anyone else in your family and get a good idea on how to grieve. You just gotta do it. You gotta sail through it. And my dad's different. He grieves different. My sister, my son, Nan, we're all different. So we just push through it. We just gotta hold the family together. We gotta pull the line, hold the line. And I think we've done a good job. We have great friends and family, extended family members who have been there for us. We're always getting daily reminders of the love that people have for our family. And that's just something that just doesn't go away. It's, I know a lot of people that I see, they want to say something and they don't. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Everybody approaches the situation different towards our family now. And I respect that. And it's, it's been an education, 40 years old and you're having to learn this now. I guess it's never too late. Some people say the sooner you learn this about life, the better. But we're all doing well. As y'all know, Nan, she moved in with me right after Pop's funeral, and that was difficult. I'm not gonna lie. She'll see this video later, and she knows that the few months that she was with us, it was difficult on her. It was difficult on us. She was a fish out of water at my house. There was nothing in my house that reminded her of her former life with Pop, except nothing reminded her of her former life with Pop. So every day she'd wake up and there was nothing. And my grandmother, she's old school Catholic. She wears everything, on her shoulders. Those tough Puerto Rican grandmother, they're built different. They're built different. They love everybody in the family with every last ounce of love in their heart. And there was a point in time to where I knew that Nan was just putting off the grief while at my house. And you never want to see your grandparents or a loved one that you have in a darkened state, but, realizing that they'll never get over it. I find that it's your job. It was my job to make sure that she copes with it, because there's nothing like, being 89 years old and never getting over it, which is obvious, but never having a chance to cope. So it was a difficult decision to get her back to her house. Once we got her back in there, obviously everything reminded her of Pop. We almost had to pop proof the house, and that was hard. There were things that she wanted to hold on to, things that she wanted put up. But, from living with Pop to living with me, where she didn't have hardly anything that reminded her of what she needed to do to get through this process, to now being back at her house, to where waking up every day, her routine reminded her every second of the time she spent with Pop. So it's every day is a new challenge. She'll call me or Connor at different parts of the day, sometimes late at night, sometimes, super late at night, and I'll answer the phone and I'll just look at it and go, uh-oh, hello? And I said, what's going on? She's, oh, nothing, just wanted to see how y'all are. And it might be 11, 12 o'clock at night, but, I just told her, I said, she'll never get over this, especially after losing her youngest son, Kurt, back in 2019. That was difficult for her. And now losing her husband of 70 years. I just told her, I said, you're never going to get over it. And I having heart-to-hearts with people is difficult, especially when the heart-to-heart you're having, the person that you're having the heart-to-heart with has lived double your life, and they have seen way more than you'll ever experience, and has experienced more in their life than you'll ever experience in the time that they grew up. And, it's, you have to, just, find some toughness about you and say, listen, you're not going to get over this, but we got to cope. We got to cope for your health, for my health, for your well-being, for the life of Pop. We got to get through it. We can't argue. We can't be arguing over just small petty things. We've got to try to cope through this, and it's going to be difficult. And there's going to be some challenges along the way, and there's going to be things that are said that are going to be difficult to hear and listen to. But for me, I would feel like it's a disservice for me not to tell her the truth on how things are and how things are going, and the way I feel and the way that she feels. I think, airing the laundry, clearing the air is good, even if it's difficult. So, she has had it rough. She has had it difficult. I've never seen anybody in my life go through what she's had to go through. And, she's very resilient, very resilient. Buried her parents, her son, brothers and sisters, now her husband. And she knows that the one that she buried, he was loved by many. He was my best friend, basically, growing up. And, it's just something we all go through. It's something that we all go through. We have to realize that we're no different than anyone else. Time slows down. Time stops for nobody. That hit me more at the age of 40 than it has my entire life. And you realize that. So I guess I've been naive my entire life by just thinking that, everything's hunky-dory. But, time slows down for nobody. It doesn't stop for anybody. One day, people are here. The next day, they're not. We're all on borrowed time. And, I just want to tell everybody that I appreciate y'all. We're getting through this just fine. Don't worry about us. We have a lot of glue that holds this family together. And I consider y'all Big part of that. So I just wanted to reach out on behalf of Nan, Billy, Connor, all the Roy family, all of our extended family, all of our social media family. I appreciate y'all being there for us, and we will see you in 2025, hopefully with a more positive light. We are obviously going down a whole different path with our social media now. You know, everything was built around Pop, and it's still built around Pop. But I think getting Nan more involved is a great mental therapy for her. And to be honest, if she wasn't around, I probably wouldn't be doing a lot of the social media anymore. But, you know, I think that it's funny how things work out. I think it would be a lot difficult for her if she didn't have the comments and the letters that all of y'all write to her. I think it would be totally different. But we are where we are. And, you know, this is the way life has worked out for us. And we're just going to fight through it and just continue like everyone else does, you know. So, once again, I appreciate it. And we love every one of y'all. Don't feel shy or afraid if you see us out in public to talk to us. Every little bit helps, especially when I see people out there, you know, from all over, whether, you know, like I said, it's at, you know, a restaurant or the mall or taking my kid to the baseball fields. Come up to us and say hi. You know, it's totally okay. We get by with a little help from our friends, and it's something that we cherish. So 2025, well, it's got to be a better year. It's got to be a better year, right? And I hope it's a better year for everyone. 2024 is about to be in the rear view. So hopefully my Texas Longhorns will win, and hopefully they'll win the national championship. If not, you know, my Cowboys, they're pretty much sitting at home. So hopefully my Texas Longhorns pull one off this year. That'll be exciting. It'd be weird if they did, because then I could say, you know, Pop, I told you about my Texas Longhorns, and I could just see them saying, man, they're not doing shit. So hey, for my sake, I got to hope that they win. So anyways, 2025 will be a better year. We will see y'all next year.